Episode 2. The Shadow. That night was Nana's night off, and she went out. So Mrs. Darling bathed the children and put them to bed instead.
Goodbye, baby.
She sang to them until they fell asleep.
When the wind blows.
She kissed them all and sat by the fire to sew a shirt for Michael. The room was very warm, and soon Mrs. Darling fell asleep in her chair. She dreamed that a strange boy flew out of the Neverland. Then she saw Wendy, Michael, and John. They were in that magical place, the Neverland. As she slept, the window blew open, and a boy flew through it. There was a small light with him, and it flew quickly about the room. The light woke Mrs. Darling up, and when she saw him, she screamed. Just then, Nana ran into the room. She was back from her night off, and she heard Mrs. Darling cry out. Nana ran towards Peter, and he jumped up to fly out the window. As he tried to escape, she snapped at him, and she pulled off his shadow. Peter flew off into the night sky, but his shadow was in Nana's mouth. It looked like a piece of black cloth. Carefully, Mrs. Darling took the shadow from Nana's mouth. She didn't know what to do with it. She didn't want to show it to Mr. Darling. He might be angry with Nana. She thought about hanging it out of the window for Peter. He might come to get it later. But Mrs. Darling didn't do that, because it looked like a dirty rag, and she was worried what the neighbors might think. She hid the shadow in a drawer in the bedroom, so it would be safe.